Yo, what is going on, boys? Welcome back. It is MMA Jack, and it's good to be back, man. I haven't made a video in almost a month, and I'm actually going to release a video on why that is, but it has to do with the decline of the UFC. So I'm glad we're here. Finally, a decent card. I think it's pretty good. Some people are complaining about it, but I think it's a pretty solid main card. Maybe that's just because I'm used to the watered-down events like this, like we will be talking about in the video that will be coming either today or tomorrow. First of all, I just realized this too. I'm looking at the screen right now. Why is everyone insanely chopped in that photo, bro? Like, usually Merab is the one who's insanely ugly, but what the fuck? They did him real dirty on that poster. All right. Well, we didn't miss too much in the meantime in the 3-week break, but let's get right into this main card. I'm excited for some good fights. All right, first fight of the night. Kevin Holland comes back. I said comes back like he's been gone for a while. He fights like every other weekend, but he's taking on Vicente Luque, who, fellas, are we getting another Vicente Luque title run? I don't know. He looked really good in his last fight. I was there for it. UFC 310 completely shut down the up-and-coming Themba Gorimbo. The Rock revoked his mortgage on his house after that one. Jokes aside, this is a tough fight, man, because Kevin Holland, I think, is better on the feet. I think he has more power than Vicente Luque, even at 170. I know most of his notable knockouts have been at middleweight, but Luque could be like on another run, bro. Like, he was declining for a while, but he's only 33 years old. So this is actually, I think the odds are a little bit wider than they should be. He looked really good last fight. I think he can definitely hang with Kevin Holland. The only thing is, I don't really see Luque putting Holland out. Holland has a pretty damn good chin, except for that one time he got caught with that fluke by Kyle Dawkins when he like headbutted him and dropped him. I can't really think of any other Kevin Holland knockouts. Maybe I'm just blanking, but the thing is, if this goes to the ground, which I think Vicente Luque's best option is to do that because Kevin Holland doesn't have great takedown defense, but Kevin Holland has pretty good jiu-jitsu. I think he can survive down there. This fight will definitely come down to the scrambles. I think Kevin Holland has him on the feet, and Luque can be a little bit chinny, so I think the safe play here is Kevin Holland, but I think the odds should be a little bit shorter. So do what you will with that information. I'm going to go with Kevin Holland as my official pick, and let's move on to the next fight. Now, I'm really excited for this one. The original fight was supposed to be Mario Bautista versus Chito Vera, but Chito got hurt, had to pull out, and Patchy steps in. And for those who do not know, he is the absolutely dominant Bellator champion. 20-1, as you can see on the screen. He's never really faced any adversity. He lost one decision in 2020, and that's the only fight he's ever lost. And this guy's a machine, from what I can tell. I'm not some insane, like, bro, Patchy Mix, like, best bantamweight in the world. I only watch Bellator. Like, I'm a pretty hardcore UFC fan, but I don't keep up that much with other promotions. I'll watch the big fights like Paul Hughes and Usman, but in PFL, but you know, that's basically it. But apparently Patchy Mix is really fucking good, and most of his fights he's won by finish. He's a very tall, lengthy grappler. He's okay on the feet. He's not incredible. I don't know if he has the chance to become a UFC champion. I would say probably not, but he could definitely be a top 10 guy, and this is the first time for a while we have a Bellator star coming over that's not 40 years old. Like Chandler, Patricio Pitbull, all those guys that are coming in are really old and kind of washed out. Patchy's young. He's in his early 30s, and he's going to be taking on Bautista, who committed a war crime in his last fight against Jose Aldo. And it sucks because this guy trains 15 minutes from my house. I want to root for him, but after that Aldo performance, man, you know, not all of it goes on Bautista. Like, Aldo should be able to get off the fence. You know, Bautista was just, he found a way to win and he took it, so I understand that, but you can't do that to a legend, bro. So Bautista's got a bounty on his head going into this one, so this is really win-win for the UFC, because if Bautista loses, fan favorite, or all the fans hate him, so then they can push him out of the way of the rankings and build up a new star in Patchy Mix. But if Bautista wins, then they can say, oh, you know, our number 10th guy took out your Bellator GOAT. So more brand recognition for UFC there. But as far as the fight goes, enough yapping. I think I'm going to stick with Patchy Mix here on the pick. I'm not nearly as confident on this one, as I do think Bautista actually has a decent chance of getting this done. I think Bautista is better on the feet. But I think Patchy can really shine where Bautista lacks in the grappling. I mean, as we saw, Jose Aldo has a really good takedown defense, so maybe it's a little bit of a skewed point, but Bautista was really struggling to get him down, and he basically couldn't the entire time. I think Patchy Mix is going to explode in those areas on the clinch and the fence. That's where he shines. He could snatch up a guillotine. I think he could take the offensive grappling towards Bautista and maybe wrap him up in a submission. He has an incredible amount of submissions on his resume, and he submitted some pretty good guys looking here at his Tapology. I don't really see Bautista putting him out with the striking. Is that an ice cream truck? Well, I just got cut off by an ice cream truck, but back on track. I don't really see Bautista knocking him out. He doesn't have many finishes in the striking, and he has been submitted before in the UFC. Corey Sandhagen specifically, round 1, he got him. And yeah, I'm going to trust here that Patchy Mix is who everyone thinks he is. I do think he is really good. I don't think Bautista is top 5 caliber. And I think even with the short notice, I believe he was already in another training camp. So he's been training. He'll probably come in shape, and I think he's going to get this done. Featured fight of the night, we got Kelvin Gastelum taking on Joe Pyfer. Now, this match was supposed to take place at UFC Mexico, but Joe Pyfer got a case of the squirts, and the fight was canceled, and then Pyfer talked a bunch of shit about Mexico. He's such a salty bastard. He cracks me up, like, honestly. He's so ridiculous. But, yeah, we already broke this down, but we'll do a quick little recap in case you guys didn't see that UFC Mexico video. Basically, Pyfer here probably has the power over Gastelum. Gastelum can crack, though. I don't know. I'm going to lean Pyfer on the power. I also think he's a little bit of a better striker. The only problem with Pyfer is he gasses out sometimes because he's so big. Kelvin Gastelum is kind of a disappointment, and I don't say that in the way of, like, when he fights it's a disappointment, because he's always in a pretty entertaining fight. But he just has a lot of potential that I think gets stopped by him being addicted to food, honestly. Like, he always is missing weight and just being irresponsible in training camps with stuff like that. So, dude's going to put on a really good fight. He's got a brick head, solid chin. I don't think Pyfer's going to put him out here. I think Pyfer will win this by decision, and it'll be a pretty good stand-up fight. Their grappling is both pretty good, so I can kind of see that canceling out. I could maybe see Pyfer taking over in the grappling later in the fight, but odds are here for a reason. You can't really put your money on Kelvin when he's been kind of irreliable in the past, so we're going to go with Joe Pyfer here by decision. Low-key, I'm more excited for this fight than the Sean Merab rematch. And I'm kind of like half joking there, but bro, Julianna Pena's been cooking Kayla Harrison. Like, there's actually major beef going into this fight, and I'm low-key becoming a Pena fan. Like, I don't care if I get hate for that, bro. Like, she's kind of funny. I like it. I think the odds are a little bit crazy on this one. And I'm not just saying this because I'm biased towards Pena, but, dude, I don't know, man. Like, okay, let's look at it this way. Would Kayla Harrison win this fight 9 times out of 10? Yes. But is she relatively untested? Yes. In my opinion, she is. She hasn't really fought anyone that good. Like, she was fighting cans in the PFL, and the one time she did face that Larissa Pacheco, whatever, like the other version of Nunes, she lost. And I'm not saying she isn't good, because obviously she has Olympic credentials. She's an incredible martial artist. But Julianna Pena is a fucking dog, dude. Like, I don't think Kayla Harrison's a dog. I think Kayla Harrison is really, really athletic and technical and very good at what she does, but I don't think she has the grit that Pena has. Like, Pena took an absolute ass beating from Nunes in both fights. In the second fight, she just got destroyed. But in the first fight, she took the ass beating, weathered the storm, and was able to finish Nunes. Now, a lot of people will have like excuses for that one, and honestly, that's fine, because Nunes probably did have a shitty training camp or underestimated her, but she still got it done. And I think, quick side note, actually, if Harrison wins this, Harrison versus Nunes would be sick. But I don't know, man. I have like a weird feeling Pena's going to fluke this. Like, maybe take her, she'll get taken down in the first minute, eat a bunch of ground and pound. But Kayla Harrison, dude, she can barely make 135. She's going to have to make 135 right on the dot. I think the weight cut's going to be extra tough for her this time since she can't just make like 135.9. And that's a lot when it comes to her. She is massive. So if she has a shitty weight cut, barely makes the weight, that's, and with all the muscle on her, she could gas out real quick. Pena has the cardio to go 5 rounds. So I am going to go with Kayla Harrison as my official pick just because the skill gap is there and everything. But Pena is probably one of the biggest dogs, actually definitely the biggest dog in the women's division. And I know that if this gets to round 3 and Harrison starts gassing out, you need to hit that Pena money line immediately. Because I have like a weird feeling she's going to fluke this. And I think at those odds, you might as well take a small stab at it. Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. Number 2, the first fight took place 8 or 9 months ago, and there's some narratives going on right now that Sean won that fight or it was super close. I don't think so. I think it was a little bit closer when rewatching it than I thought when I first watched it, but when I got to the scorecards, I was never like, dude, Sean might have won. No. Merab definitely won that fight. Apparently Sean stopped gooning and ingesting THC for this camp, and he's really made a mental and physical change in his habits, so that could play into this, but I think I got to stick with Merabi here, man. He's just so good. The cardio is never ending. He just shut down the best Dagestani prospect there was in the sport, and in honestly incredible fashion. Umar did, he did have his moments during that fight. It wasn't an absolute destruction, but Merab just looks so good. And I don't know if in 8 to 9 months you can improve that much on your takedown defense and your defensive grappling, because when Merab got a hold of him, Sean was cooked. And you know what? I do think this fight will be closer than the first because Sean did have his moments. He did win that 5th round. He almost finished Merab. So there definitely is a chance that O'Malley does pull this off. I think the smart pick is to go with Merab because Sean didn't really look like himself in that first fight. He wasn't nearly as aggressive, but then you could also play that into, well, he's fighting Merab because you have the constant threat of the takedown. So he's always so scared to just throw loose and try to go for the knockout because if he misses, Merab is going to slip that and catch him and just take him down. So I hope O'Malley wins because then we could get the trilogy, have a bigger star as the champ. I really like Merab, but if O'Malley did win, I'm sure they would do a trilogy and make for an even more entertaining 3rd fight. So I think overall this fight will be better than the first one, but I think Merab is going to get it done again. If you guys made it this far, please like, comment, subscribe on the video. I really appreciate it. It's free to you guys and it helps me out a ton. Also turn on post notifications so you can get notified when I post that video I was talking about in the beginning. Let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree. I tended to go with all the favorites here, so I see a couple underdog opportunities like I was saying, but I think I'm going to play it safe here and go with all of the favorites, which usually doesn't work out, but fuck it. And yeah, love you guys. We'll see you in the next video. I'm going to link some videos at the end here if you want to watch some more of my content, and enjoy the fights this weekend.